Black Series, Moff Gideon, and Darktrooper armor. So let's check them out. So this is Moff Gideon in his Mandalorian Darktrooper armor. And this is the way he appeared in season 3 of The Mandalorian. And no, they did make Moff Gideon from the previous 2 seasons, but unfortunately I don't have that figure. So I do have this one, and so without further ado, let's get into his packaging. So this is the packaging that he came in. As you can see, it's got like a kind of a tan color inside here, and on the bottom there it says Star Wars: The Mandalorian. Also says 44. It's the number 44, I guess. Moff Gideon, Darktrooper armor, and there's a portrait on the side there, which looks really cool. But blends into that kind of desert tan like color there, as you can see. It says Star Wars on the side with this color on the side there. Not a whole lot there at the bottom or on the top. It says Star Wars: The Black Series there on the top there. On the back, there's a read up if you want to go ahead and read that. Pause it now. There's also other languages on there too. If you want to read any of those, you can read other languages. Or if you're from one of those countries that reads those languages, so we'll read those. And there's that portrait there of Moff Gideon there on the back, which looks really cool. Some more stuff there at the bottom. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. So first weapon he comes with is this very, very tiny little blaster, and which appears to be based, or to me appears to be based off what looks like a Walther PPK, maybe a Makarov, or it could be a Walther P38, maybe it could be based off of. But you can tell it's like a kind of one of those designs, and as you can see by the bottom too, it looks like it has the European style mag release there at the bottom, where you would use the bottom to release the magazine instead of the normal side mount. So that's why I think it's probably one of those pistols, because the PPK, the Makarov, and the Walther P30 have that European style bottom mag release. So as you can see the slide there of the actual guns was based on everything. There's the barrel. It's got like a scope on it too, which is pretty cool, making it look more like a futuristic blaster. That's one thing I always liked about Star Wars. They use a lot of real life guns to make their blasters and stuff. So I thought that was always kind of a neat, cool touch. But as you can see, it's kind of like a silvery gunmetal gray, which is pretty cool. He can hold this. I don't remember if he actually used this in this form or not, but he can hold it. I know he used one out of his wrist gauntlet that fired like a laser. So if I can get it in there, right there it went. So you can get him to hold it, which looks pretty good. It gets a pretty good grip on it. He's got a trigger finger and everything. Now you can't pop his hand off, which at first when I done I thought I broke his hand, but it's actually just on a ball joint. So when you do that, you can just pop it back on it, and it's fine. So don't freak out if you think you broke your figure. But as you can see, he's got a holster there on his side, which does have a working strap. Although to put this in here, you don't actually have to undo the strap. You can totally leave it closed, and it'll go in. So you can store his pistol when it's not in use. So that's pretty cool. He comes with 2 versions of what I keep trying to say is a combi stick, but it's actually a electro staff. Combi stick is from Predators, but so he comes with 2 versions of his electro staff. He has this one that's closed up, and you can see it's mostly like a silver. The most of the handle there is black, but it's got like a silver accents there on the ends and everything, which kind of in this closed up form like this, it kind of looks like a lightsaber hilt. But he can hold this, and so you get it in his hand. You can kind of recreate when he first pulled this out, so he can hold it. He gets a pretty good grip on it too, in which you can put it in either hand, I guess. But in the show, he pulled this out from his back. There's no way to nowhere to put this, to store it. When he's not using it. I wish they would put like a holster or something back here, because if you're watching the show, well, when he goes to face off Bo-Katan, he actually pulls this out from behind him. So obviously he has some kind of holster back there, but on this figure it doesn't. He comes with this extended version of his electro staff, which this kind of reminds me of the electro staffs that General Grievous's Magna Guards used in the prequels, because it's got the same kind of electricity there. It only has it at one end though. The Magna Guards had it at both ends. This has just got it at one. As you can see, it's basically there's the handle of when it was collapsed, and then now it's extended out. So you got both ends there from where it was collapsing, but now it's extended. It's got the purple electricity effect there at the end, which looks really cool. You can remove this too; it's a separate piece, so you can look like it's deactivated. But this may be the same piece that came with the Magna Guards. I'm not for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, because I mean it looks very similar. But I'll get better with it on there. It looks really, really cool. And like I said, he can hold this, and I actually had him holding it at the beginning of the video there, so you can get it in one hand or you can get it in two hands. So, which in both, he looks cool holding it one or two handed. It doesn't really matter. It just looks cool anyway. So, lastly, one of my favorite accessories he comes with is his helmet. And this is a very, very cool looking helmet. It's mostly black, but it's got, red accents there on the side. It's got a kind of a maroon color, pinkish color there, T-shaped visor. And, it's got the details on the bottom where it comes down right there, as you can see. And it's got the horns on the top, which is kind of supposed to look like resemble a crown, I guess. But it kind of looks like, Maul horns, which, some Mandalorians and Clone Wars did have Maul horns on their helmet after, Maul claimed the Darksaber, and some of them welded horns to their helmet to resemble Maul, which, was pretty neat. And, like I said, it's like a glossy black, too. And you can't put this on his head, like so, as you can see. And that really helps kind of finish the look of this figure. It looks really, really good. For articulation, he has a standard articulation for most Black Series figures. He's got a ball joint there at the head, got a hinge and a swivel there at the shoulder. The armor shoulder pad kind of does go out of the way so you can articulate. It doesn't really hinder it, so that's pretty good. Got a double hinge there at the, a single hinge there at the elbow, a ball joint there at the wrist. Got some ab articulation there on it and at his waist, so pretty good articulation there. He's got a hinge and a swivel there at it, like a ball joint there. At his thigh. He's got a single hinge there at the knee, a hinge, and an ankle pivot. So let's go over the sculpt, design, and color of this figure, starting with his head. And as you can see, I don't know what over the helmet, but as you can see, it does look pretty accurate to the show there. As you can see, I'll show a picture of that, which does look really cool. So let me move his helmet and reveal his head sculpt. So there's a head sculpt of Moff Gideon. As you can see, it has a very good likeness to Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian. Which this is based off his season 3 look, where he's lacking his mustache, but which I've seen where some fans have theorized that this Moff Gideon was a clone, because all his other clones didn't have mustaches either. So, but that's a pretty good possibility. And cloning is a big thing in Star Wars too, so that's a pretty good possibility. But as you can see, his armor, which is really, really cool. It's in a glossy black paint scheme there, which makes it stand out. It looks really cool. He's got some blends. The red and the black really go good together. Makes it look really good. He's got red clasps there on the top, and you can see some red details there in the right there, which I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but in the show you can see it lighting up red and stuff. So that's a pretty good, accurate attention to detail. And he's of course got his cape, which is a trademark from Moff Gideon. He's red on the inside and black on the outside. The red really makes it stand out to the figure, so that's pretty neat. He's got the jetpack on the back, which does not appear to be removable, which doesn't really bother me, because some of them don't want to stay on good. Like my Wolves is horrible. His jetpack does not want to stay on good. It wants to fall off all the time, so that doesn't really affect me much. I don't have to worry about it falling off. But wearing a cape with a jetpack is, in reality, would not be a very good idea, because I don't know how he didn't catch his cape on fire, because you have flames coming out of the back of the jetpack. That seems, in reality, that would catch his cape on fire. But so as he's going down, his waist, his belly piece right here is like a flat black, and then you have the glossy black of the armor there, which makes it kind of contrast, which looks really cool. His suit underneath the armor looks a lot like Darth Vader's, that kind of that mesh-like material. You can move the cape out of the way, the details and stuff continue to the back. You can really see that material right there on his back there, as you can see. And the armor comes down. His belt is mostly black. It's got a silver belt buckle and a red trim on the top, which that looks really cool. He's got a pouch on his left side there, and then he's got the holster that the gun holster that comes down, as you can see, which it has a very leather-like detail in it too, which looks really cool. It looks like a leathery holster, so that's really neat. See, his leg armor, you can see, it's also a glossy black. including his arm armor and his wrist gauntlets. Those are also glossy black. And in the show, he was able to fire a laser out of his right wrist gauntlet. So it'd been cool. They could have made like a laser effect. He could have plugged in here. That'd been kind of neat. But you can see he's got his knee pads will also have the barrel and stuff on them like most Mandalorians do, because this was based off Mandalorian armor, and this is supposed to be a exosuit too. In the show, when he walked, it made hydraulic noises because it's supposed to be an exosuit, kind of like Iron Man, But and it's based off of Mandalorian armor, and it's also made out of Beskar. So that's pretty neat. As you can see, going down, it's still got the glossy black armor. As you can see, the underneath, and it's got some pretty big boots there. As you can see, the armor bits go on top, and they're all kind of. You can see there's some leather detail in the boots there too, which is pretty cool. They got some pretty thick soles on them too. See, there's not much there at the bottom, but there is some peg holes. So for comparison time, here is this Moff Gideon figure compared to Bo-Katan. They had the big epic battle at the end, and which I think Moff Gideon was a little bit taller than Bo-Katan. I can't remember. I could be wrong, but it'd been cool if this figure would have came with a crushed Darksaber piece, because in the show he crushed the Darksaber in his hand in Bo-Katan's. So that'd been kind of a neat accessory to have. Unfortunately, they didn't include that, but like I said, that'd been kind of neat. So here he is compared to Boba Fett, which Hasbro labeled the Book of Boba Fett throne room figure, but although this is actually based off his Morak appearance in The Mandalorian. But it'd been cool if Boba Fett was around when they in season 3 when they were on Mandalore. That'd been kind of cool to have Boba Fett and Moff Gideon face off in this form. That'd been really neat. So what do I think of this figure overall? Yeah, I really like this figure, and I recommend this. It's probably one of my favorite Black Series figures that I have. And when I seen this in the show when he first appeared in his armor, I was like, I hope Hasbro seriously makes a figure of that, and they did, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, and I finally did, and I'm glad I did, because I really like this figure. Unfortunately, I don't have the other Moff Gideon they made. I might get it later, but like I said, I'd probably prefer this version over the other one, just because his armor just looks really cool, and I just like this look better. It'd been cool if he had the Darksaber, in this form too, since he had, Mandalorian style armor. That would have been kind of neat. But although, like I said, he did crush the Darksaber in this form, because in this armor he's supposed to be wearing like a Iron Man like suit, so he was pretty strong. Had heightened strength and everything, like you would have from a like a Iron Man like suit. But so if you like this figure and want to see some more Black Series reviews, give me a thumbs up. That'll help me out a lot, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.